Welcome to my channel, Tech Easy Learning. Today we are going to see a topic in Snowflake, that is micro partition. First, see the picture of the micro partition. Okay, this is how the micro partition look alike in the Snowflake. See, what is micro partition? All data in Snowflake is stored in a continuous unit, that is micro partition, which is the physical structure in the Snowflake. Okay, which is the physical structure in Snowflake. This is the way the data is stored in the micro partition, and left hand side logical structure is there. This is how the table look alike, and the data is stored in Snowflake as micro partitions in this format. That is the physical structure of the micro partition. Okay, the diagram below illustrates the mapping between the logical structure and the physical structure. Physical structure is grouped in the micro partition. Micro partition, the name itself, we can easily understand. Micro means small, which is beneficial for highly efficient data manipulation operations and efficient scanning of columns, individual columns, pruning of large tables, and we can prevent the data skewness. It is not like static partitioning. Here, whenever we store the data in the Snowflake tables, it is automatically divided into micro partition. There is no need to explicitly specify in the syntax. In static partitioning, that is what we do in Oracle, we always mention about partition name in the while creating the table. Here that is not required. It is in the technology itself. Whenever we store the data, it is automatically divided into micro partitions. Groups of rows in tables are mapped into individual micro partitions and are organized in a columnar fashion. Here, see, it is like it is organized in the columnar format. Type, name, country, and data. Okay, the size of the micro partitions will be around 50 to 500 MB of uncompressed. Here, columns are stored independently within the micro partition, and row of data is stored in the same micro partition. So the scanning will be very efficient of the individual columns. It is not like in the static partitioning. Normally, whenever we execute any query, the entire table will be scanned. Here it is not like that. Our entire partition will be scanned. Here, what happens here is, it is, if it is a very large table, it is going to that particular micro partition, and that part only will be scanned. So rest of that micro partitions won't be scanned. It is called pruning. Pruning means cutting off the unneeded or unwanted data from the correct data. That means whatever the things we require, that is only scanned and fetched. It is not like our old traditional approach where it will go for the entire table scan. Micro partition is a columnar based and horizontally partition. Here the diagram itself we can see it is columnar based and horizontally partitioned. So the execution is faster. And what are all the benefits? What are all the benefits? The Snowflake stores metadata about all rows stored in the micro partition, including minimum and maximum value for each of the columns in the micro partition. We are seeing about the metadata of the Snowflake. It is getting stored in the micro partition itself. That minimum and maximum value for each columns, and the number of distinct values and number of the null values. Benefits means here micro partitions are derived automatically. They no need to be explicitly defined while creating the tables. In static partition, we will mention about the partition name, etc. while creating the table. Here, there is no required. And micro partitions are very small. The size and structure enables efficient and fine-grained pruning of the very large tables. That means it will go and fetch the data from the exact micro partition, no need of scanning all the very large tables. So pruning means the unwanted data, it is not going to scan the unwanted data. Micro partitions can overlap in their range of value, which combined with their uniformly small size and helps the data skewness. Okay, so data skewness is here is avoided. So these are all some important benefits of that micro partition. Okay, and if you want to know about more benefits, then you can go and check in the manual. There are around 10 to 15 benefits that I have mentioned. So I have given some important benefits. Okay. So far we have seen about the introduction to the micro partitioning, about the relationship between the logical and physical structure, how the data is getting stored, and what is the size of the that micro partition, around 50 to 500 MB, and data here stored in columnar format, that is compressed one. Okay, and micro partitions helps us to execute the query very fast. Okay, so whenever the data is required, we can go to the concerned micro partition and we can get the data. And large table, we go with the pruning. Pruning means unwanted data won't be scanned. So these are all the some benefits of this micro partition. We will see much more detail about these micro partitions in the coming videos. Thanks. Bye.